Welcome everybody to Delete Lawz. I would like to specifically welcome in the people from the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. Thank you so much for coming. This is going to be very eye-opening for you. You're going to see and hear a lot of things that you didn't know before because so many of you have reached out to me, and true to my word, I will keep you anonymous. I promise you, you won't hear your name. Nobody will know that you talked to me. So I do appreciate all the phone calls and emails. All the truth is going to come out. However, I just want to say to the people of the Upper Peninsula, I understand what it's like to live on a peninsula. I was actually raised on a peninsula, in the Kenai Peninsula in Alaska. What I learned about being raised on the peninsula in Alaska is that it's a tight-knit group of people, that the same people are raised together. The sons take over the jobs of the fathers. The daughters take over the role of the mothers. It's a tight-knit community full of people. I know this because, as you can see, I was raised on a peninsula myself with the same people. To this day, a lot of the people who I haven't talked to in 20 or 30 years, if I pick up the phone and I call them, they'll answer my phone call. We have a connection that I can't describe, what I'm grateful for. So I understand your tight-knit community. The reason I came there is because there's corruption going on there. The prosecutor is colluding with the police to take out her political rivals and to take out people that the cops don't like.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is ChilleDeCastro. I'm here specifically because of the tyrannical behavior of the prosecutor in this county, because what she's done, the gentleman standing back here is named Garrett Van Nett. He's what you call a First Amendment auditor. What he does is when you get pulled over by the police, he films you. He films what's going on, because as we've seen in America, the police are attacking people, putting them in torture cuffs, dragging them off to a dungeon. And today's jails are not like we saw when we were kids on TV. You know, the missus would bring you cobbler inside of the jail. No, it's a total dungeon where they treat you horrifically bad. Lauren Wickman, what she has done is she's colluded with the Tardif family, Todd Tardif, Cole Tardif, and sister Paige Tardif. What should happen is Lauren Wickman, along with Cole Tardif, Todd Tardif, and Paige Tardif, should be prosecuted under U.S. Code 18, because this is deprivation of rights under the color of law.
Now, I'm going to prove everything that I just said in that statement, because so many of you have reached out to me. Now I have all the facts, and you may not like me. You may not like that I call cops pigs. You may not like that I have zero respect for the cops or the organization of law enforcement in this country. You could call me a lot of things, but you couldn't call me a liar. You could not call me a liar. Let's get into the gory details of exactly what Lauren Wickman has done and how she's colluded with two different chiefs of police to prosecute, persecute, and take out her political enemies and First Amendment auditors on the peninsula.
Mr. Adamini, I did not bring ChilleDeCastro into town, and I would really appreciate your acknowledgement that I wouldn't know how to get a hold of the guy. I don't think cops are pigs. Todd Tardif has been a lifelong friend, and I support Todd 100%. And I cannot support anything that calls cops pigs. They run to what we run from. And I think if you look at my voting record, you'll see why I can pass that with find me one instance where I voted to defund police or haven't given the sheriff what he wants. You won't. You're going to find complete support for that.
Chille, I really can't support an anti-cop agenda. I've never thought cops were pigs. I have always done my best as a county commissioner to fund them. In fact, all my votes have supported them. So I have no problem with the police or the cops in our county.
That's fine. But at the same time, I'm only talking to you to gather enough information to find out what's going on in your town exactly and why all these problems are happening. I just want to make sure that you'll be willing to talk to me and tell me the truth about what's going on there so I can find out what's really happening.
I will give you the truth, everything that I know of. I'm not going to lie to you because that'll sneak around and zap me in the ass. And I have no desire to lie to you. There are some things going on I'm very concerned about, but I may not see things the way you do on everything. I'm not anti-cop. I wouldn't use the word pig, but I'm not blind in my support of police either.
So then we agree to disagree. I don't support police or the organization, but you support police and their organization. So now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about the issue.
I'll try, and I'll be honest.
The woman that was hollering in at the end, Kelly Vangenhoven, she's the one driving this whole recall thing. And the reason
got behind me and tried to pretend like she was my friend. She's Lauren Wickman's friend.
Oh yeah, she is. Her and Lauren are tight at the hip.
This woman here, she ran for county commissioner against David Moyle. David Moyle and I had never met before I came to the Upper Peninsula. So let's take a look at the players of where and why the corruption begins in the Upper Peninsula.
She's Lauren Wickman's friend.
Oh yeah, she is. Her and Lauren are tight at the hip.
That's the information I got. So here are the players. Dave Moyle is friends with a guy named Reed Heichman. They've been very good friends. Lauren Wickman, apparently from the people who I've spoken to, has some sort of cozy relationship with Kelly Van Goven. These are the pawns, Dana Van Effen and the colluder, Rob LaMarche. Rob LaMarche used to be the chief of police of Escanaba Police Department, and just wait till you see all the details. So these people colluded together to arrest and charge Reed Heichman with stalking. This is an incredible story.
Reed was accused by Kelly Van Hoven of stalking.
By Kelly. So Reed was accused.
So Lauren Wickman recused herself. It went downstate to the state court administrators. It was reassigned to a guy, the prosecutor in Menominee, and he got arrested for aggravated stalking. The prosecutor in Menominee gets the case. He tries to bully Reed into plea bargaining. Then he tries to threaten him with felony stalking, and Heiken's like, go fuck yourself. Eventually, They drop the case. They drop the charge.
Does that sound dirty to you? It sounds dirty to me.
I think it was a put-up job anyhow.
A put-up
because
job.
Van Hoven was pretty tight with the chief of police.
Kelly Van Hoven.
Yep.
I've heard that. First name basis.
Mm-hmm.
Chief of police for which police department?
Escanaba.
So let's take a look at this again, and let's read what she writes here. And take a look. Remember, the former chief of police of Escanaba was named Rob LaMarche. And now Kelly Van Oven puts out a post on her Facebook that says, Judy LaMarche is an amazing asset to my campaign team. I've dubbed her my sign lady. I get a request for a sign, tell her, and she delivers it. So we have established how the relationship works. She tells her, and then Judy delivers. Do you know when I'm looking for a sign? Thank you, Judy, for being my sign lady, and so much more. Those words are going to come into play in a moment. So these are the emails that were FOIA'd between Director LaMarche, Robbie LaMarche, as Kelly Van Owen calls him. On the date above, Director LaMarche asked me if I could look into a possible stalking case. Director LaMarche was notified by Kelly Van Goven that she was being harassed by Reed Heiken. Director LaMarche forwarded me the email thread between himself and Kelly to me. For further information, see EPSD incident number 22-5895. And now here is the email thread between Kelly and Rob. I don't know what Kelly sent to Rob, but I do know this guy's name, Rob LaMarche. I do know this is Judy LaMarche. They have a real cozy relationship, don't they? Is Judy Rob's mom or his grandma or his aunt? I'm not sure, but the LaMarches are definitely related as they were raised on a peninsula, and I understand peninsula life. I don't know what Kelly wrote, but let's read the reply. There are a few options we can take, Kelly complaining about Reed. I have an officer stop by and you can file a formal complaint. Our officer would then make contact and have a chat with him laying out your concerns. Depending on how the conversation goes, it may stop him or he may increase his behavior. The report would then be documented with the officer's findings. You could then get a report and attempt to get a personal protection order from the courts to stop his behavior. I can have an officer stop by as in option 1. Upon the conclusion of the investigation, the officer can submit a warrant for stalking. He's telling her in an email, if you want and an officer comes by, we can then put a warrant out for Reed. But for what exactly? Because Reed is David Moyle's friend working on behalf of David Moyle. The prosecutor would review the case and would either authorize or deny the warrant. Then Kelly Van Goven replies, thank you for the quick response, Rob. I appreciate you. After calming down and giving it thought, I would like to proceed. I would like to proceed with option 2, please. Send the officer down and let's get a warrant on Reed. I'm here at my shop until 4 p.m. today or tomorrow, 9:30 until 4 p.m. Now, you may read this and think to yourself, no big deal. She's just emailing back and forth with the chief of police. Are you emailing back and forth with the chief of police? Do you call the chief of police by his first name? Are you working with the chief of police mom for your campaign where you ran against David Moyle and lost? You don't think that Robbie LaMarche there wants to make mommy happy? I do. It's all right there. You be the judge. You decide what you're seeing if you think this is right or this is wrong. He's telling her we can arrest Reed if you just have a meeting with an officer. And she agrees to it. And then Robbie replies, hi, Kelly. Sounds like a plan. I'll be sending a detective down to talk to you today. Take care, Rob. Of course, Rob has since resigned. I've also heard that he was ran out. This is the Tardif family that Press with Ranker had filmed. He had filmed Cole Tardif on the street. He had filmed Todd Tardif on the street. And then there's sister Paige Tardif. What does Paige do? She works in Lauren's office. Man, that's really similar to Kelly Van Goven working with Rob LaMarche's mom. And now this prosecutor also works with the Tardif family daughter. I mean, come on.
So the Tardif family is completely working against you to lock you up in jail.
It would definitely, yeah.
What violent crime have you committed?
None.
Where's the injured person or damaged party?
There isn't one.
What property have you stolen or damaged? So your entire crime here is holding a camera and pointing it at the police. Because number one, going to jail for a day is dangerous. Being sentenced to prison
For 5 years.
you're going to have to join a gang.
5
If I
years.
had any interest in joining gangs, I would have looked into being a cop myself.
So true. So spot on true. I came here to help Garrett, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
I want everybody to watch this interview. This is what the thumbnail looks like. Please, it's in the description below. The link is. Go and watch this video so that you understand exactly how the cops have targeted him. It's absolutely horrible. Remember, I only came to the Upper Peninsula because my friend Press with Ranker, who's also a First Amendment auditor, was filming cops on the peninsula. Pay very close attention to the subscriber numbers. He was filming cops on the peninsula. Take a look at the numbers that Press with Ranker was getting by filming cops. On this stop right here, you'll never guess who was on that stop. Gavin LaMarche. Gavin LaMarche is the son of who? Robbie LaMarche. 36,000 views, 15,000 views, getting more views than he has subscribers. 33,000 views, 11,000 views, 16,000 views, 25,000 views. The police would never collude together. They never get off work and talk to one another, especially when they're being posterized and their videos are being seen around the country far farther than just the peninsula alone.
Yeah, that was the guy.
Oh, that was the guy? I'm sorry, what do you mean? What are you saying exactly?
Oh yeah, that was the guy.
That's the guy filming you.
I've seen his videos before.
You've seen his... Oh, turn off that body cam. That's Cole Tardiff after he arrested my friend Garrett Vanette, Press with Ranker, for simply holding a camera and filming him.
Once you start interfering in my traffic stop, then I have the right to give you an order.
Physical act.
I told you to stop right up there.
Interference is a physical act.
I told you to stop up there.
How am I interfering?
I told you to stop up there.
I don't care what you told me. I asked
That
you
is a
how.
lawful order, sir.
How is it a lawful order?
Because you're interfering with this traffic stop.
How am I interfering?
You're taking my,
Interference is a
you are
physical act.
taking my attention away from them,
I am
which are
allowed to take
lawfully
your attention
detained.
away from any
No, you do
fucking-
not.
Oh yes.
No, you do not.
Yes.
Sir,
There's
you do
court
not
law.
go back up there where I told you to stop. You will be arrested for obstructing.
Okay, I'll give you one step.
No, back to where I told you, sir.
Of course, Garrett was filming on a 2-lane road. Anybody who's ever lived on a peninsula, we know that most of the roads on a peninsula are 2-lane roads. He had no choice but to be filming on a 2-lane road. Of course, Cole Tardiff was already targeting him when he told him to step back. And then when Garrett made any move in any direction, Cole Tardiff then said, "You're under arrest."
Stay right there, sir. Do not come another step forward or you'll be arrested for obstructing. I apologize. Oh, wait, you took another step forward, sir. Therefore, you're under arrest right now for obstructing. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back, sir.
How am I obstructing?
If you jackboot thug pigs are unfamiliar of a First Amendment auditor, that's all we do. All we do is film you. Garrett Vanette was already a known auditor across the country. Those views are tiny compared to the views that San Joaquin Valley Transparency got on his video where he covered what Garrett did. Those views are tiny compared to what Here's the Deal covered. Those cops were posterized across the country. They didn't like it. They were all talking internally how to get rid of the auditor on the peninsula. So Garrett is known by the police, all the police departments there on the peninsula, which there are several. Everybody knows he's a First Amendment auditor. If you guys are unfamiliar with First Amendment auditors, welcome to reality. 52% of people in this country no longer trust the police. So if you're okay with this and you back the blue no matter what, just make sure that Lauren Wickman doesn't dislike you, or neither do the Tardiffs, or neither do the LaMarches, because they're all in it together. If they don't like you, you could be next. They put Garrett in jail and charged him with a felony. They arrested Reed Heichman and put him in a dungeon. Just wait, it gets even more revealing. How come it is that Gavin LaMarche was on this stop? Well, there's Robbie LaMarche. Oh, there's Gavin LaMarche. So you got LaMarche Sr., LaMarche Jr., you got Todd Tardiff, you got Cole Tardiff. Man, it's a family affair. These cops who are getting millions of views of people seeing them and exposing them for the tyrants they are against us in this country, for the revenue collectors and road pirates they are, they're being exposed as being road pirates. And they're all colluding together and talking about it behind the scenes. You heard the video a moment ago. Oh yeah, that's the guy. They got him. him. Exactly. They already knew who he was. That was a BS conversation for the camera, and then they turned it off so they could really talk about what they did. I just want to show you this. I want you guys to get this graphic. Lauren works with Paige Tardif. Paige and Cole are brother and sister. Tardif has been the sheriff pig there for decades. I just want you to know the picture here. So now let's get into these people colluding to arrest
Lauren
Reed.
threw us under the bus last week because I had her replaced as corporate counsel. Scott Graham is a very good federal attorney, and he is now our corporate counsel. And I keep personalities out of this. Scott's the one that I want working for the people of Delta County because he's extremely experienced in the Sixth Circuit and has a very winning record. And Lauren was our prosecutor writing opinions for the county, wanting to be our corporate counsel. And I'm like, this is nuts. You can't have the prosecutor being our corporate counsel. Who in the hell has their prosecuting attorney be their corporate counsel? I mean, that's fucking retarded.
Tonight, the Delta County prosecuting attorney asked why the county board removed her as legal counsel. The Delta County board moved to do so 2 weeks ago. And now TV6's Escanaba Bureau reporter Barbara Bellinger spoke to the board chair and the prosecuting attorney about the decision.
In a 3-2 vote on September 19th, Commissioners Moyle, Barron, and Peterson voted to replace prosecuting attorney Lauren Wickman with attorney Scott Graham as the county's primary legal counsel. Tonight, Moyle says it is because Wickman and her office are too busy.
Our prosecutor did a lot of good stuff for us. She did what we asked her to do, but she also has a full plate with her office.
She has a full plate prosecuting people for felonies who film cops.
Decision reversed what the board had agreed on September 5th, which had kept Wickman as primary legal counsel. At tonight's meeting, Wickman asked why she was removed.
I know there were some excuses or reasoning thrown out that our office is very busy. We are very busy. If we wanted out, we would ask to be out. We don't want out because I do feel like this is in the best interest of the people of Delta County for us.
It's not. Scott Graham is a far better attorney than her. He has tons of experience in district and circuit court. She doesn't have any.
Our office to remain involved. And so it starts raising some questions why they don't want me involved.
They don't want you involved because you're not as good as an attorney as Scott is. Sorry, kid. Those are just the simple facts.
Why they don't want me there.
Moyle says he did what he thought best.
Clearly, I think she was not happy with the decision, and it was not about personalities for me. It was about protecting the county with the best service possible in that specific area.
Wickman says whatever the reason, it needs to be put on record because that's the law.
There's case law as well as reading that first statute, 49.71. You must put on the record a reason for me not being civil counsel. I have yet to hear a reason for that.
Because there's an attorney who's better than you, that has more time, that has more experience than you do in district and circuit court. That's the plain, simple fact, Lauren.
After hearing from Wickman, the board decided to table other civil counsel items on the agenda until further discussion can be held. Barbara Bellinger, TV6 News, Escanaba.
So really, this boils down to David Moyle versus Lauren Wickman. And David Moyle had just won his county commissioner seat. And so who ran against him, though? It was Kelly Van Noven. She ran against him. And if Kelly gets on the board, then Lauren will get to be the civil prosecutor, the corporate attorney for Delta County. That's what this is about. She uses the police to take out her political opponents. The writing is on the wall. You're looking at it.
They hate me because of the Second Amendment sanctuary movement that I started in this county. And, we did it back in...
Take a look at that vote. 3-2 to be a Second Amendment sanctuary county.
Delta County is a Second Amendment sanctuary county. And
Hell yes. Hell yes.
And, the left absolutely hates it. And if Van Noven gets in, that's the first thing she's going to do is go after that sanctuary status.
Wow. So you heard it right there. I don't know your politics up there. I'm not involved with it. I don't know David Moyle. He's not a friend of mine. Press with rancors, my friend. That's the reason I'm here. I'm grateful that David jumped on the phone and talked with me. You heard his position. He still backs the blue. So if you get Kelly Van Goven appointed to your board, you can kiss your Second Amendment sanctuary city goodbye. Is that what you want? I have my gun literally 16 inches away from my hand right now. Anywhere I go, I have a gun on me. I've got an AR-15. I've got a pump shotgun. I want my gun. Plain and simple. So if Kelly Van Goven gets on the board, she's going to wipe away that Second Amendment for y'all. You want that? So how do they get rid of David Moyle? They get rid of David Moyle and get Kelly Van Goven put on the county commissioner's board by creating a boogeyman. This is kind of a long segment right here because Reed is going to explain exactly how Lauren Wickman colluded with the Menominee prosecutor, Kelly Van Goven, Robbie LaMarche, to arrest him and turn his life upside down.
Hey, Reed, my name is ChilleDeCastro. I have a channel on YouTube called Lawz.
Yeah, I know. I saw you Tuesday night.
Okay, I'm a civil rights activist. All my calls are recorded. Everything I do is on the record. I'd like to talk with you a little bit about the wrongful prosecutions that you face and what you dealt with up there in that county.
All right. I'm a good friend of Dave. And during the last election, got involved in his campaign. In the process, I made a few enemies, one of which was Kelly Vangenhoven. And she's kind of the ringleader of most of this crap going on currently. She lives outside of the county or outside of the district. She has a family home out there. Her husband, who you actually talked to, the big tall guy, kind of chiseled jaw and so forth. All right. Anyway, they live out there, and she was running in Dave's district, which is not where she lives. People complained about it. We called the state police. The state police did a very much bullshit investigation. I guess they went to the house, knocked on the door, and it was sort of like, hey, do you live here? Yeah, okay, you live here. And we know better. So Kelly lives down the street from where my shop is, and what I would do is night or evening, I was driving by down Ludington Street, which is the main drag through town, and taking pictures of the building dark, and then would go around the block and drive down the public alley and take pictures of that as well. Started building a case. We could go to the state police and say, we go by this place. There's never anybody here. I never left the street or alley. Okay. Never got out of the car. I was on a public thoroughfare. Kelly didn't like that and used her connections with the former chief of police here in Escanaba and had me charged with stalking.
For simply investigating if she lived in the county or not.
Right, and driving on public street and the public alley. Okay, so I never even got out of my car. So they arrested me for stalking. Where the county comes in is it was sent to, after the Escanaba police investigated it, it was sent to your friend Lauren. She referred it to the Attorney General, claiming that there was the possibility of a conflict of interest. The reasoning behind her conflict of interest was that Kelly Vangenhoven was a candidate for public office. So there was a possibility of a conflict of interest. Okay, I didn't know candidates are somebody special because my first comment to them was, well, I'm a candidate for president of the United States. Anyway, they arrested me, charged me with stalking. When I was arrested,
did they put you in torture cuffs and take you to the dungeon?
Yeah, but in fairness, because we don't agree on the police either. I mean, I'm not going to get into that argument with you. If you want to sit down with me and talk about it.
You're welcome to say whatever you like, Reed.
Right.
I'm not going to agree with everybody on everything, but
Right.
You're welcome to have any perspective you like. That's what makes America great.
Right. Did they come and arrest me? Yes.
And you still have a positive position on the police?
And I still have a positive position on the police? Yeah,
Fascinating.
They're doing a job. Yeah, I get it. They're doing a job. They were very civil about it. They
Put
came
you in torture cuffs was really civil. How did those torture cuffs feel?
Well, they were nice enough to put them in front of me.
Oh, they put them in front of you?
Yeah.
Wow. That copper that I talked to there, Jaleese, whatever his name was, he said he did put the cuffs in front of some people, and that's a first step towards decency at least.
Yep.
But the truth is that if he had said to you, hey, Reed, you're under arrest, you're on camera, are you going to come with me, or do we have to put cuffs on you and drag you down? What would you have said? What would you have said to him?
I prefer not to be in the cuffs.
Right. So you would have agreed to being detained and agreed to going to jail without fighting the police.
Right. In fact, I told them when they got into the shop and they said, hey, we got a warrant. And they showed it to me and I said, look, I'm not going to fight with you.
My point is, though, Reed, you still have a positive position on police, and that's fine. I agree. We need security and protection. However, we don't need the torture cuffs. Most people who are rational, once they're put on camera, it's called the Hawthorne effect. You can look it up. Once you're on camera, your behavior changes. With the threat of, if you agree to be detained and then you violate that, the judge could charge you with the felony, and you're going to be on camera the entire time. That will make people say, okay, I'll go with you. But instead, we have this barbaric policy of you have to go in torture cuffs. And there's my problem. Do I really hate all individual police? No, I don't, Reed. I do not. I do not hate some of the men and women I've met who wear a uniform, and I've met thousands over the last few years. I don't hate them all. What I hate is that they agreed to those policies and procedures and they don't challenge it. That's what I hate, Reed. I hate that. How could you be a good person and say, I'm going to put torture cuffs on people, even if they're going to agree to go with me? And if you're too scared to bring someone with you without them being shackled, then you shouldn't be a police officer. You see my position now more clearly?
So just a quick shout out to Jeffrey Rogg, the Menominee prosecutor. Are you starting to see a picture now, Jeffrey? Let me give you guys a little bit more information. Jeffrey Rogg, the pig-sucking prosecutor he is, he has threatened Reed to refile stalking charges as a felony. Well, Jeffrey, you dunce cap, this journalist over here in Southern California has just broken your case wide open. Doesn't look like Reed was stalking Kelly. Looks like he was seeing if she lived there because they were in a battle for the county commissioner seat. Jeffrey, you arrested him. You signed off on the warrant. You put him in the torture cuffs. You had him taken to jail. You dirty pig sucker. Let me tell you something, Jeffrey. I raise money for a lot of people around the country, and we sue lots of people, Jeffrey. You better know your place, son. Your place is to uphold our rights, to uphold our civil liberties, not to work as an arm, as a political hitman for Lauren Wickman or Kelly Van Goven. And that's what you're doing. There's a little bit more here. I'm going to keep going.
In the meantime, Reed turns in a complaint about a good friend of Kelly Van Goven's, whose name is Joel Kaplan. And Kaplan was stalking Reed. So that went on Wickman's desk. Wickman said, I can't prosecute this. She turned
Who's
it
Joel Kaplan? Who's Joel Kaplan? Who's Joel Kaplan?
Kaplan's a local libtard who's a good friend with Kelly Van Goven.
And then Dana was the drunk, annoying girl.
Dana was the drunk pig, yes.
Okay, and so then what happens to Kaplan?
Well, nothing right now, because when Escanaba Public Safety brought it to the prosecutor's office, the prosecutor said, I can't touch this. And so she recused herself. It went down to the state court administrators. They assigned it to the same guy that tried to prosecute Reed.
So Jeffrey Rogg, are you going to prosecute Kaplan, who's actually stalking? He's actually stalking Reed, going to his house, following him for 45 minutes at a time. Reed was just seeing if Kelly Van Goven lived in the county where she was competing for a county commissioner seat against his friend, David Moyle. But there was no stalking. You live on a peninsula. Everybody on the peninsula. I'm from a peninsula. You're from a peninsula. We know you're not going to stalk down and attack or kill anybody on the peninsula without everybody knowing it was you. So, Jeffrey, why don't you stop doing the bidding for political hitmen and actually do your job, bud? I would love for you to put a felony on Reed. We'll raise the money and we'll sue you for wrongful prosecution before the trial begins. So I have one more point on this. Kelly Van Goven is not a public figure. You're not a public figure just because you run for office. That's ridiculous. Her engagement is predominantly with Delta County residents, reflecting a community-centered sphere of influence, not a public figure's broader reach. The content she shares strictly pertains to local issues, indicative of a citizen's concern, not a public figure. There is an absence of recognition from wider media, suggesting her impact is local, not extended. Her advocacy, such as recall initiatives, is a citizen exercising her rights, not a public figure seeking widespread influence. Her actions are targeted towards specific local issues rather than influencing public opinion at large. Media attention is intermittent and confined to her political activities, not the ongoing attention seen by public figures. Without holding any official government position, her capacity to affect policy is limited, differentiating her from established public figures. In essence, Kelly contributes to local government. Her activities do not accord her to the statute of a public figure, with her influence beyond Delta County. So then you start to say, why did Lauren Wickman recuse herself? Is she connected to Kelly? She is connected to Kelly. How is she connected to Kelly? Rob LaMarche's mommy works with Kelly. Lauren contacted Rob to arrest Reed Heichman, and then Lauren punted it down to Jeffrey down there in Menominee, and Jeffrey Robb, he prosecuted Reed. Are you starting to see what's going on there? You're not a public figure, Kelly. You're an itty-bitty person, and outside of Delta County, nobody knows who you are. You're not a public figure. Lauren recused herself because of the cozy relationship between Kelly and Lauren. That's what's happening there.
Go for Reed.
Hey, Reed, this is Chille. How are you?
Okay, what's up?
I was just kind of wondering what's going on with you have a hearing coming up in December.
Yep.
That this Kelly woman is pressing against you.
Right.
She's trying to file for a restraining order, protective order.
Right. Order of protection.
Now, I talked to David earlier, and he said that when you were investigating where she was living at to see if she was eligible to run for county commissioner, you had just walked by her house and filmed and videoed, and then you had taken those findings to the state police.
Drove past.
What's that?
Drove past.
You drove past Kelly's
I never
house.
even got out of my car. I drove past on the street, past the front of her building, and then in the alley behind. Never stepped out of my car.
And then you took those findings to the Michigan State Police. Is that correct?
The plan was to take them to the Michigan State Police.
Okay.
I never did.
Okay.
Okay.
And so then after you got arrested, went to jail, went through all that, then she's, even after the prosecutor in the other town dropped the charges, she's still filing a protective order against you?
Very next day.
Why? Didn't the prosecutor let her know that you were not stalking her, that you were investigating her to see if she lives in the county or in the district?
I had said so, and it was in the report that I had said so. You know, the detective's interview of me. I probably shouldn't have done it, just not talk to him.
Didn't seem to help you, did it?
Anyway. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Didn't help you, though. Put you in jail, didn't it? Didn't you go to jail?
Well, yeah, I ended up going anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got an ankle monitor, right? So it seems like these are just a group of people between you, Kelly, this other guy, Dana.
Yeah.
Right, but everybody's just kind of spying on everybody else, and then the people who can use the law against the other ones are using the law against the other people.
They're using the law against us, per se, more so.
I can see that, but what I'm saying is that is what's going on. There's two groups of people, both of which one in power, out of power. One group wants power, the other group is in power, and so they're using law enforcement as a means to try to get their agenda accomplished or to try to clear the players off the board.
Right.
It's just whether or not you want to be honest and admit that your buddy Todd is the same part of the group of people who's working with those women to arrest political opponents or activists who film cops. If Kelly is doing it with Rob, then how is it so hard to believe that Lauren, who works with Paige Tardif, is doing the exact same thing with Todd Tardif and Cole Tardif? This is a complete and utter battle for power and money. It has nothing to do with David Moyle or any individual relationship between people. It has to do with this group over here wants power, this group over here wants power, these people are in power in that group, these people are in power in that group. This group is trying to get their people put in power where the other group already has power. That's what this is about. The whole thing. She wants Kelly on the board so she could be the corporate attorney.
Yeah.
If she gets Kelly put on the board, she'll get to be corporate attorney over Scott
Graham.
Okay, so let's talk about this for just a moment real quick. So it's pretty easy to see that Kelly buddied up with Judy LaMarche and Rob LaMarche to then have Reed Heichman arrested. So Jeffrey Rogg, I hope you're paying attention, buddy. That's what happened. That's what happened. And if you have not been arrested and gone to jail, if you have not been taken away against your will, put in torture cuffs, gone through the booking process, gone through the jail process, gotten bonded out of jail, then had that first day when you get out, that first night where you break down crying as soon as you leave jail, and then you go through PTSD the next day as soon as you see a cop, then you couldn't possibly understand me. You couldn't possibly understand my friend Garrett. You couldn't possibly understand any of it. And to claim that you have been arrested and you have gone to jail when you have not is so irresponsible and reckless. It's the true height of what a narcissist is. Someone who can openly lie constantly, and still feel as though they're a righteous and good person. And I'm talking lying constantly.
I tried to get a PPO order on this Dana Van Effen. We supplied 97 pages of evidence. You know, she called my employer and said I was a pedophile. And when they blocked her, she called I'm a teacher. I teach blind children. And, you know, she tried to get me fired from my job. Well, I passed every state background check there is known to man. Anyway, I got a court date against Dana Van Effen, the drunken pig.
Nice. When is that?
May the 13th, November the 13th. And it's at 2 p.m. And she contacted my boss's boss and just started saying a bunch of lies about me. But, you know, whatever. People are either going to believe it or not.
So do you think Dana Van Effen would lie about everything constantly? Let's look into that for a moment and just see how many times she lies about me or to me, and I'm not even from there. Lots of people sent me screenshots of what Dana Van Effen was posting. However, what I care the most about is the truth. And she wrote here on one of her posts about me, of the hundreds of posts she writes about me, Chille live streamed the incident, and according to viewers who saw it beforehand, he made it private. He did not have the trifold or 5A card that he's constantly marketing with him. This is me being pulled over in Wisconsin when I was leaving the Upper Peninsula and driving to the airport. You read what Dana just wrote, that I didn't have my trifold on me, that I teach people to invoke their Fifth Amendment right. That way you can take control of the stop and control of the pig.
Hi, I'm Corporal Wayne with the Saukey County Sheriff's Office. The reason I pulled you over is you don't have any tail lights on. Is there any reason you did not pull over when I activated my lights?
I plead the Fifth Amendment.
4711.
That's the trifold that I carry with me always, and I teach my people to invoke their Fifth Amendment right.
Here's my license, my registration, and my proof of insurance. Here's the insurance. Here's the rental car agreement. And my driver's license is right here.
Where's your driver's license?
Well, didn't I just say it's right here?
Yeah.
Let's see how you do. Let's see how you do, Waylon.
Is this your current address on Santa Monica Boulevard in California?
I plead the Fifth Amendment.
There it is again, that Dana lied to everybody about and said I didn't have it on me. She lied when it's on video. When I put this video out and thousands of people have already seen it, Dana lied so brazenly.
Okay.
If you ask me another question, you're violating my rights, and I'll file a lawsuit against you. Write your ticket, do what you're going to do, but don't harass me any further. You have every relevant information you need. Go do your job or I'll sue you. Get the hell out of my face. There's everything you need. Go.
There's the trifold. Dana.
Go on, go do your job.
I would like to give you your insurance card back.
I'll take it.
And I will give you that rental agreement back.
There you go. Where's my license?
I'm going to have your license for now.
I'm sure you're going to put it in your pocket because that's how you guys behave. But I just get my license back. It'd be great. I need to go about my way.
Okay.
So surely that couldn't be it. No. When I was there on the Upper Peninsula filming, I filmed Dana, and I asked Dana if she'd ever been arrested, put in the torture cuffs, and been through the process. And then she lies again. Yes, I lied, she admits. I've never gone through the criminal justice system. Let me tell you something. Dana, I'm holding back the puke, because if you haven't been arrested and gone through the process, you have no idea what it's like. Remember, I'm not a felon. I'm not a recovering drug addict. I've never robbed anybody, stolen, assaulted someone, beat a woman. I've never done any of those things, ever. So then why do I have such disdain and rightfully indignant against this government and these police? Because I've been arrested. I only had to get arrested once at 18. From there on out, I hated them. Now, you heard me earlier. I don't actually hate people. I'm a person. I got a mom and I got sisters and brothers, and I'm just like you. But I'm rightfully indignant. And Dana lies right here. I've never gone through the criminal justice system, but when some California guy comes up to demean and hurt our law enforcement, who are neighbors, family, and or friends, I'm absolutely going to back the blue. How cozy is Dana's relationship with police? And yes, I lied. Well, let's listen to her lie on camera. And let's see how cozy she is with the police with the rest of Lauren and Kelly.
That's your opinion. Have you been arrested?
Yes, I
have. You been to the dungeon?
Yes,
really?
yes,
You've gone through trial?
Yes.
Okay, so how'd it go?
It was fine.
Oh, right. Fine for you.
how
Must be
cops are
nice.
bad.
Must be nice. Must be nice, lady.
You know what?
You have to identify yourself, dude. You're breaking the rule. This is what I'm talking about. There's a rule of law.
Did he just say, come on, Dana?
Must be nice, lady.
You know what?
You have to identify yourself, dude. You're breaking.
Nice, cozy relationship. If I wasn't on camera and I didn't know my rights inside and out, it would be me in the torture cuffs.
This is what I'm talking about.
Now
There's a rule of law and you're breaking it. I said to identify yourself and you.
I think his name was Kaczynski or something like that. Look at him violate the rule of law. He's supposed to identify himself, people. That's the rule. If you break the law, what happens to you?
Did not. That's terrible. You're supposed to identify yourself.
Oh,
no. Where I go, cops get fired. Where I go, cops get fired. When you go, you would have been fired. Oh, your dad's a pig. Your dad is a pig. And you're an asshole. I don't care.
And you're an asshole. Well, let me own it. I am an asshole. But what I'm not is a liar. What I'm not is a criminal. I don't need you to like me. I don't care if you like me. So I don't need to lie. Dana Van Effen lied 2 or 3 times about me on video in public. You're listening to her? You want your Second Amendment stripped? I don't need your approval to be me. There's the difference between me and a lot of other people. I just want the truth. And the truth is coming out every single day. Every single day.
Why don't you look at what they do, lady? Look at what they do.
Why don't
They're
you look at
terrible.
what they do?
They're terrible.
They are
Thank you
terrible.
for stopping that man from attacking me.
Just go away, guys.
No,
You're
you
just
go away,
causing
bro. I'm
disruption
just letting
here.
you know. What about the videos of him being stalked and harassed? What about those? Do we care at all about what he's gone through? That's why I'm here. I didn't come here to fight that guy. He just ran into me.
5 years. They want
It's
to
a
put
felony
Garrett.
for holding the camera. He's being charged with a
5
felony
years.
for holding the camera. Do you care about that?
They want to put
I don't want to fight anybody.
Thank you.
So then what about him being arrested? A felony for holding the camera. You represent the cop.
What does that have to do with us? I thought Garrett was us. I thought you just said you cared about the community. I'm showing you how the prosecutor has colluded with a failed attempt to win the county commissioner seat. And now they targeted Reed Heichman and arrested him. And I'm showing you how Garrett Van Nett, press with rancor, was exposing police on the peninsula and filming them. And they didn't like it. And Lauren Wickman colluded with Todd Tardiff to have him arrested.
I was a federal police officer, nothing to do with him.
You ran up there and said how cops are good, and they're not. Cops are terrible.
You guys
in
will
general.
talk.
Take a look at the scene. There it is. You got Gavin LaMarche and you got Robbie LaMarche, and then you got Todd Tardiff and Cole Tardiff. Let's not forget that Paige works in the prosecutor's office. You may not like me. You may not like that I call cops pigs, and I will continue to do so until we change the policies and procedures and protocols of using slave cuffs, torture cuffs from the 17th century on free American citizens who have not been convicted of a crime. Until somebody who decides to join the pig force stands up and says, wait a minute, everything's on camera now. Why can't we just tell people you're being detained? If you don't come with us, the judge is going to see it and you're going to get a felony. Do you want us to tackle you and put you in the torture cuffs and shackles, or are you willing to come with us? How many of you would go with the cops? Most of us. Most of us. That's my issue with the cops. And oh, by the way, when I was 18, they put them on me so tight, my hands turned blue. You understand? You only got to go through it once, Dana. It's horrible. You know, I've been pretty known for a couple years. I have troll farms that investigate me. I've done a lot of things in my life, but I have no victims, and you can't catch me in a lie. Because when there's thousands and thousands of people who follow you, you can't lie. And if you do, like Dana has done, you lose your following and people leave you. You have to be the most upright standing citizen there is when you're an actual public figure, not a wannabe public figure like Kelly. You have all the facts now. I think this is the end of the video. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the end of the video. So you have all the facts. The $1 million question is, are you going to be blind to the facts? Can you not see that Robbie LaMarche's mom is working with Kelly Van Goven? Thank you, Judy, for being my sign lady, and so much more. My connection to your son, who's the chief of police. Are you going to ignore the fact of Lauren Wickman saying that Kelly Van Goven is a public figure and she has to punt this down to Jeffrey Rogg? Are you blind to that? Kelly Van Goven is not a public figure. She's simply not. I know this because I've sued lots of people for defamation. I know the actual structure that is required to be a public figure. Are you going to ignore the emails? They're right there. We have FOIA'd Paige's emails and Lauren's emails and Rob's emails and the chief of police, who used to be the chief of police, Todd Tardiff. We FOIA'd all their emails and we can't get them because there's an ongoing investigation. I guarantee you, once all this passes, we're going to find similar emails about Press with Rancor. You may hate me. You might not like me. You may not approve of my methods until it's you. And then you're calling me and you end up with one of the hundreds of emails I get every day that says, Chille, please help me. And then they send me 16 paragraphs and videos and inserts and Google Drive, and it can happen to you. If you allow this to happen to Garrett, If you allow this to happen to Reed, are you next? And as you remain silent, who's going to come to your aid? Nobody's going to believe you. Lauren, with her little group of cronies, has decided that you are a felon. There's no recovering from it. There's no coming back. I'll see you in court. Thanks for coming. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.